Hey fan, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining me for this tarot reading. This is going to be for all signs and it's timeless, so no worries, no ands, ifs, or buts. We're all welcome with this one. Will it be another message of encouragement, or is there something particular going on here, which I'm leaning a bit toward the latter. I just finished a reading, and rather than taking a break, I'm jumping back in. So let's see what's going on this round, fam. Begin with the archetypes. The Siren. I was going to do just a personal reading, but then I felt like recording, so here we are. This is basically the vibe of whatever it is that has been drawing you in, that has been fueling your soul, whether it's singing or your passion, whatever your heart chakra has been trying to lead you toward. Your heart right on down to your root, all of it. Those chakras are just as important as the crown and third eye, and voice, throat. Maybe there's insecurities there that you are shedding, you are working past and healing. But, human. The siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters, and the work of the siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, 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 to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option, unless, is it Odysseus? It's one of those that I see on a page. We wait, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. So that just reminded me of how I like to talk about certain tarot cards, the Hanged Man and the Eight of Swords. We can't see their hands, and yet both seem to be in bound predicaments and blindfolded. At least one of them's blindfolded. But why? Are there things that you've been, jamming your head into the sand, thinking you don't have to worry about those things? What if everything is something to worry about? It's just the worrying is different. What if that's the joke? It's okay for things to have meaning. It's okay for people to have meaning. It's okay to be affected by life, to get some hyper-focus going. For some, that hyper-focus is almost like a butterfly cocoon, right? So warm, so comfortable. You just want to do a thing. But time blindness can happen, right? And the next thing you know, weeks have gone by, months and years. What if that's the fear? That you're going to lose track of time again? That this is going to be something else, that time has been poured into, and energy and attention. But there's a difficulty to recognizing that things can be unrecognizable, that things can be new, experiences can be new. Maybe sirens aren't meant to have legs, right? But once you realize that, suddenly you can keep time again. What's the oracle cards? Justice is coming. Notice that she's almost kind of standing there, like trying to figure out exactly what this situation needs, this ensemble. But there's also a lot of yellow going on, yellow and earth tones. Could this be Gaia? That may be cheesy to some, and that's okay. That's fine. I like cheese, even though I should not be eating it. Okay, moving on. If there's anyone who knows how to handle things accordingly, it would be Lady Justice, right? Karma, balances and scales, no bias in this story. Only justice. They say that whatever we do comes back to us the same times 3. If a person's intentions are well-meaning, then that good energy will come back to them in buckets. If a person's intentions are to do harm, then you get the picture here. Either way, the universe is getting ready to deliver its justice. This person might be you. If so, you should handle it with grace and learn from your mistakes. Otherwise, this most likely applies to someone who's caused harm to you or your loved ones. It can be kind of weird being told that, basically your enemies are going to get their karma. Justice is about to be served. Like, what can that possibly mean in our world? But yellow, what kind of cards do we tend to see the color yellow, right? First of all, the sun. Isn't that the background of the Magician? There's a lot of really interesting tarot cards with yellow in them. I wonder if we'll see them today. Fan, do you know what that means? It's clarification time. Maybe we'll find out. What do you think? It's YouTube. Let's lighten the mood a little bit, okay? My goodness. I like to think of tarot as a story. What's chapter 1? The universe is like the bat. I'll use the bat. This can be creativity, your passion, courage, fire, a reigniting of the flame within you. Is that a plane? I mean, we're beginning with a divine gift in theory, right? That's pretty spiffy. What's card 2? It's like we take this, like, thanks. I'm going to just go on a hike. Dude, if the Hermit card comes up next, I'm going to giggle. Chapter 3. Not what I was expecting at all. Silly me. Isn't that when it shows up? Once you are able to figure out what really means to you and figure out that you don't need these hollow cups just because they're gold, right? Just because they're things that we're told we should want to do the thing, it means we're doing the thing. It's proof, right? What if the cups that the rest of our lives have to offer are full? I mean, I guess we can talk about half full, half empty. I mean, either way, it's full, right? Liquid or air, like either way, it's full. Isn't that the joke? This graduation, clarity, wisdom, heart's intact. We've been learning what matters, and there's no confusion anymore. There are things that have been difficult to leave behind. But now we're starting to feel that distance growing. It's still, the way wounds heal, right? The layers it takes to heal. But that's quite a healing journey, nonetheless. What's going to come up underneath the Ace of Wands? The Hierophant again. This Hierophant fan. What are we going to do with this Hierophant? I don't know about you, but I don't imagine myself in some, Catholic style robe. I guess there are those of us who balk at tradition. The main question is, whose tradition are we following exactly? And that's the thing about our lives, is we get to choose that for ourselves. Nobody else is supposed to choose it for us. We can know our options. It's nice. But we get to choose that for ourselves. And the things that we experience, that can also be included here. We can be helping others so that they are helping them to heal. Maybe others have been feeling lost in the equivalent of the situation, And you can help them in ways that you can't even imagine, because it's not for you to imagine. That's their angle of things. You just stay you just stay with it. It's fine. You're doing your part. You know what I mean? There's so much about society and whatnot that is about control and power, and so much of the trends are about the different parts of the balancing and not enough about the balancing. The singularity above the dualities. Because yes, you do need to accept your shadow side. You do need to accept elements of the darkness in order to thrive with that yin-yang energy within you. that ability as part of being human, right? Why not both? Humans are so complex, right? And yet we have so many rules and so many ideas of being perfect, and yet it's constantly changing. I wonder why. What's going to come up underneath the Eight of Cups? Balance. That's what this has been about. That's why justice is showing up. Balance is being restored. That's what these interesting times are all about. So much is polarizing. Even though we're all in this together. These ships back here, big, small, I don't see parts flying off. They seem intact and handling it. This person on one foot, handling it. Enough to balance things in both hands. Once you get down into the nitty-gritty and you're no longer distracted, so distracted, to be fair. You're no longer so distracted. Because some distractions are fun, okay? It's okay. Got a little stressed? Hey, you need a distraction. It's fine. Balance. Balance enables you to know when to turn off the TV, set down the book, and get back to work. With your passions and your creativity and your wisdom and your heart and mind functioning together. Balance. What's coming up underneath the Knight of Cups? The Emperor. Who do you think has sent out the Knight of Cups? And who is that Knight of Cups waiting for? They know the person's going to arrive exactly as they're meant to. They're not worried about it. They can hold position as long as they need to. At least it's not another freaking year. Might be a month, tops. It's kind of like that sensation of when you have someone coming over, right? And they're like, either you can see on whatever GPS app where they are, so you can keep track and you know when you need to get dressed and actually do some dishes, and when I still got a few minutes, you know. You don't have to get out of bed quite yet, or whatever, right? Versus when they're pulling down the driveway or into the driveway. But you know it's coming. There's a difference between the one who has sent out the message and the one who's sharing it, returning with it. This is giving me greetings, right? This is the vibe of I understand come what may. And that I'm going to have emotions about it. I'm going to have my own reactions. But it's all good, right? Life is different. It feels different. Reactions are different, right? And you're able to handle whatever it is that you need to handle. Balance. What's coming up underneath the Queen of Swords? All right, that's another reading in which we begin with an ace and we end with an ace. Oh, how interesting. The Pentacles is always in the mix. Oh, these are ideas. This is encouragement to go with your instincts, go with your intuition. You know how to handle things. You know what you're doing. You're not going to mess anything up. No matter what, everything's going to work out. The balancing act is in progress. Enjoy the ride. Continue what you're doing, because you definitely have instincts and wisdom in the mix. The balance is being achieved if it's not already achieved. The difference between being enveloped and being a part of, an active, willing participant. Now we can do these things. Now we can live the life we've been putting into, like co-creating and putting into effect. We've already seen the chariot in the past. We've already seen certain things. We've already received specific messages. This is honoring, being open to receive, being capable of accepting, and not losing yourself in whatever shiny new thing is coming in, right? Oh yeah, what's the epilogue? Ooh, okay, so we got different angles. This can be reminding you of what you have survived on this earth. Because it's been such a moment of, I did that. We freaking did it, right? And yeah. And now you're living, you're on earth, and it's go time, and you're in charge of your own pleasures, of your own happiness, of your own joy. You're holding any chains that could ever be around you. They're in the palm of your own hand. You get to do this. You are not somebody else's prisoner. Even if there are things like, I'm always going to want a cigarette, doesn't mean I'm going to have one. That would not be recommended. Ugh, I got so sick. Ugh, no. Nope. Sorry if I just triggered anyone with the sounds I'm making, but no. But I want one. And that's just legal crap, you know what I mean? We all have our things, but notice how these are all heading in this direction, except for very particulars that are looking right at us. Otherwise, everything has been leading to this. So what if this round, at least for some of us, this is welcome to your manifestations. They are now no longer in your mind. They are now no longer in your heart. They are in the 3D on this earth. This is your life now. For some, it's be careful what you wish for. I'm just going to throw out the reminder that, we don't need to have such expectations. We know how it could feel to have our hopes and dreams, to have the home we want, the job we want, the lifestyle we've longed for, if we were true to ourselves. It could be triggering the fear of the unknown. It's a whole ball of emotions to be human if you allow them. But a point that's come up in previous times is when we're meditating and thoughts and whatnot come up, we're meant to just observe, right? Honor your feelings. What would it be like if you see the Devil card and you know that it's okay because you honor yourself now? You're not trying to hide. You're not trying to obliterate. You're not trying to not feel. You're human, and you can accept yourself. Good, bad, the ugly, all of it. Because amongst those dualities is the singularity, and we're all connected, and we've all got this balance. You're still you. Thank goodness, right? We can relate, but we're still individuals living our own lives. And it's all good. What's at the bottom? The main gist, the main gist of the reading is what I tend to consider the bottom of the tarot. And this round, it's the Seven of Pentacles. This, you've been putting in that time. This person is stopping in the middle of their workday. Maybe it's after lunch, you know, the particular time of the like 9 to 5 or type of workday, whatever your job may be, where you already feel the senioritis. You're starting to notice what time it is. You know, you've hit that portion. You kind of want a snack. Get a Snickers if you can. Whatever equivalent. If you can't, no nuts for you. If you need to take a breather and just look over things rather than be like, fuck, done so much work. This isn't looking... I keep thinking of artists and how we can tend to start talking crap about what we're working on as if we're done already, but it's because we can see it in our minds. We know what we're intending on. We know what we're trying to do, what we're trying to manifest with our actual hands, or, you know, whatever your tools may be. But you're not done yet. And sometimes that can be frustrating, right? Because it's not looking like you know how it can. You're just getting started. You're not done yet. But it still looks like a pretty good crop, doesn't it? It's worth your work. It's worth your time and energy to take care of yourself and to look toward a future, even if it's here on earth. After everything you've been through, everything that you've learned, you are more than capable. You're wise. You're not the same person you were a year ago, 2 months ago. Come what may, you know how to handle things accordingly. The universe and karma and all that, and like they're doing their thing too. We're all doing our part, hopefully, right? Yeah. All right. What's the extra notes? Because I'm just going to keep babbling otherwise. Oh, toxic. Toxic as fuck. Referencing the Kehlani song, Toxic. I get real accountable when I'm alone. You know that you've played your part in some negative moments, but are you going to do that crap again? Or have you learned? We all do things when we're in survival mode. It's called being human. It's called psychology, right? And humans handle things in different ways, and they work through things, and they express in different ways, and a lot very similarly. Whatever it is that you did in survival mode, that you did before you knew better, you need to forgive. It's not actually cheesy to come at things with love, and it doesn't have to be so exposing and vulnerable to open up and be vulnerable. It doesn't have to be so scary. It can just be, right? So, for some, they have things that they may not have anyone in their lives, you know, closest to them, actual family and friends, you know, that they live near and are able to hang out with. The people that they talk to daily, they may have things that they can't talk about with them, you know. First and foremost, be safe. Secondly, there's someone who needs to, it's kind of like reading between the lines, take the contract to a lawyer before you sign it, because someone's trying to rip you off. And for the rest of us, knowing having the wisdom to know the difference between this is something that I can talk about in this moment, and this is something that I should keep to myself. This is not the time for this conversation, is the main gist of this card. But there was a little bit extra wanting to come through on that one. What's on the bottom of that set? Having a share card or moment. Remember that show Eureka on the Sci-Fi Channel? Maybe you don't. It's okay. It was on the Sci-Fi Channel here in America. But he was just, a guy. A sheriff for this town full of geniuses, right? And maybe you've had people, your family, your coworkers, whoever, maybe that's been a part of the problem. They treat you like you're the dumbest person in the room. You don't deserve to be treated in such a way. You're not dumb. You've learned a lot. Maybe you have your own way of doing things, but if anything, the fact that it's working for you goes to show how smart you are. A lot of these systems that are in place when it comes to education are very particularly designed. So maybe the fact that you've been able to do things your own way is a good sign. And maybe people have given you a lot of shit for it because, well, they towed the line. They did the thing that they were told they were supposed to be doing, and it worked out just fine. Why can't you do the thing you're told to do and have it work out just fine for you? Because it's not for you. And for some of us, unfortunately, the things that we've experienced, it is all about helping to build our resiliency, our strength to be able to speak to others and for them to know that we know what we're talking about. We've been there and done that and come out the other end. We're capable of showing respect and deserving respect. So you go ahead and you nurture your crops, nurture your seeds, nurture yourself. Justice doesn't come around just once a lifetime. She'll be back. The scales and balance is a continuous energy situation. You don't have to worry about, unless we're talking about man-made rules and laws and stuff like that. I can't, right? Humans really think they're just, they're so... they are so very... Thank you so much for listening to me babble for however long this video is. I'll try to do some editing to help people out. Either way, thank you so much for hanging out with me and keeping me company. I really appreciate it. And until next time, always remember that I love you.